What's up, everybody? We are back. It is Monday, June 18th. We've got a sort of fun slate. Weirdness going on with DK not having a Yankees game, but I like it. Perfect slate size, in my opinion. Not too much that it makes research a pain in the ass, but just enough that, like, lineups can still be pretty unique. Jake, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Had a nice Friday. Had a nice Saturday, and then Sunday could have gone better. But overall, it was good. 2 out of 3 days profited, and this is actually a really fun slate, I think. So I'm really pumped. A really good pitching slate, I think. So I'm excited to get into this. Yeah.
So am I. What's going on, chat? We're going to work our way through everything, do the crunches. You guys know the drill at this point, so.
Sneaking us into the office. Nice.
Yeah, so am I, but
Yeah.
this always happens in my office.
You don't have to sneak, though.
I don't have to sneak. If I had to sneak, this would be a really weird career. We've got ownership projections up, so we'll be able to talk in depth about that. And I think we should just start it off. And we're starting it off with a team that I am now very high on today, and we are not projecting a ton of ownership for. So I'm kind of interested to see where you stand. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Brewers and Pirates. Brewers 4.6 run implied total. Pirates 4.2. It's 55% chance to win for the Brewers. Julie Chassin going for Milwaukee. Trevor Williams going for Pittsburgh. This isn't a game for pitching for me. I am unhealthily on the Brewers bats. They have quite a bit of my exposure right now on both sites. And we're not projecting all that much ownership for them on DK. Only 4% of the total, which would be... Where do they end up? We're projecting them to be the 10th most owned, group of people. I've got them at basically like my second best stack. So somewhere I'm off. What do you think about the Brewers tonight?
No, I don't think you're off. I like them a ton.
Nice.
And I was expecting them to see heavier ownership. It is early, so things can change. But Trevor Williams, he just does not miss any bats, and you can't do that against a Brewers team that just has power up and down the lineup. Not as much right now, but like VR has power, and everyone in the top 6 with Thames leading off and Yelich. So mostly going to get my exposure to Shaw, Yelich, and Thames, but I'll have VR, I'll have some Braun and Lorenzo Cain. Yeah, it just sets up like a really good stack. 4.5 run total on the road here. 90 degrees, some wind blowing out. I don't know what's not to like about the Brewers, so I'm surprised they're this projected ownership.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better because they're popping off for me, and I know I'm gonna have a bunch of them, but I have like way too much right now, so I know that I'm gonna have to at least dial it back a little bit, just because I don't need to be that far ahead of the field. But they looked great. It all made sense to me. I figured they'd be significantly higher owned.
Yeah. What do you think about the Pirates, too?
I get a little bit of them. They're more of like a secondary stack. Their price is a little bit better on DK. But I'll get to like those top 5 guys as sort of a secondary spot. They're my 6th most owned stack. So like Harrison, Meadows, Marte, Moran, and then Cervelli. Like, I'll work that around however I can. I actually get a little bit of everybody on DK, but it's marginal.
Okay. I like the Pirates. I mean, it's, Meadows, Moran, Cervelli, Bell, Polanco, I think. So kind of weird to stack them up. I mean, Marte's fine as well. I've got him projected for a pretty decent amount of points as well. But I've got all these guys kind of bunched in, and I don't think they're going to be very highly owned either. So I like both sides of this game. I mean, it's just great weather. Yeah, it's not the best hitter's park, but 90 degrees and some wind blowing out to left. Like, these guys are going to be able to hit home runs if they get the ball in the air. And Chassin against lefties this year, 39% hard contact, 14% K rate. a 154 whip. Yeah, I thought this one was going to be a lot more popular, and I'm kind of excited about it now.
Yeah, I'm like, it makes me happy to be on them for some strange reason.
Yeah.
I can't really wrap my head around why, but I'll take it.
I've kind of noticed it lately where, like, yeah, it's not a great hitter's park and it's not a huge total, but these games with 90 degrees, like in Kansas City, especially, and in Pittsburgh today, and probably in Philadelphia today, they just seem to go under-owned because it's not Coors, it's not Chase Field or something like that, where it's like a notable hitter's park. So I want to take advantage of that.
Good deal. One guy I want to point out, and it's a really weird thing to point out, but Orlando Arcia, if he is playing short, is minimum salary on FanDuel. That's always an appealing proposition, particularly on a day where we're projecting Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer to be relatively highly owned and expensive. Sometimes you need to save salary wherever you can. So if you have a Brewers stack going on FanDuel, look to Arcia at shortstop. He's not very good, but $2,000 is a nice price point when it can't go any lower than that.
Yeah, I've got Arcia with a .08 ISO against righties, but
yeah, it's
there's
not a lot there.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta stick someone in there, and that's how you get in Bauer, Garrett Cole, whoever your stud is. So
right. If Arcia means you get Yelich, Tames, and Shaw or something like that, then it's the cost.
That's fine with me. Yep.
Right, let me stop this and stop that. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else interesting to talk about in this game. I just needed to get some Brewers logistics going. Move on to the Cardinals game.
Sure.
That's not how you spell it. All right, Cardinals and Phillies. This is going to be a real weird one, too. Cardinals 4.3 run implied total. Phillies 4.3. 50-50 game. Miles Mikolas. I sound really weird when I try to say it correctly. Going for St. Louis. Mikolas?
I think it's Michaelis.
I already forgot what we did last week.
Yeah.
Nick Pivetta going for Philly. Love the pitching here. Should come as no surprise for anybody that's ever listened to this. Both guys projected in the... Where's Pivetta? Nope, right on top of him. Yeah, so both guys projected with some solid ownership. I've got them owned quite a bit. I'm a big fan of the pitching here on both sides. I'll get to some hitting on the Cardinals side, not the Phillies side. So I'm anxious to see what you have to say there. And I'm anxious to see where you're landing on these two pitchers. I prefer Pivetta, FYI.
I prefer Pivetta as well. And he, I just hit send on the spotlight pictures, so he is one of my top 3 options right now. So he had that bad outing against the Rockies where he was chalk, and it's kind of tough to go back to him here. 90 degrees, wind blowing out, same thing as we talked about in Pittsburgh, so not good pitching weather at all, but he's going up against 7 righties, 8 righties maybe, and he's crushing righties this year. 30% K rate almost, 115 whip, 287 xFIP, and then not giving up any hard hits, 27%, which is very, very good. Like any pitcher is going to have some blow up starts, but everything looks fine for me as far as him being healthy. So I'm not worried about that last start. And if he's got his best stuff, he's going to strike out a bunch of guys, and you won't have to worry about the weather as much because they won't be putting the ball in play.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, let me pull up the weather because we do have some weather concerns today.
Okay.
It's not really that fun to talk about, but whatever.
So I see in Houston, Chicago.
The White Sox-Indians game is going to be one that gets really rough, and Dodgers-Cubs.
Not the White Sox-Indians. Oh, that's going to change some stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not paying attention to it right now, but it'll matter in a couple hours.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to have both pitchers here. Perfectly okay with that. I don't get to McCollus. I'm just going to keep calling him McCollus. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'll never remember. I don't have any of them on FanDuel. I do get a little bit of Pivetta there. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to have a lot of ownership in the top 3 guys on FanDuel, so I won't need to differentiate too much. But yeah, I mean, pitching looks great. Do you like the Cardinals bats at all? Because I know since you like Pivetta, I don't know if you're on that opposite side, but they're actually my number 3 stack on DraftKings.
I mean, man, the weather's just so good that I can't say it's like a bad stack, even though I believe in Pivetta. I think he's going to have a good start. Could he blow up again? Yeah, absolutely. And the Cardinals have the power to get to him, but Pavetta's just so good against righties that it's hard for me to take 3 or 4 righties against him, and you kind of have to do that because it's really Carpenter and Fowler are the only two lefties that I would want to target against Pivetta. So I'm kind of off the Cardinals stack. I think I like a couple Phillies, Hernandez, Santana, and Nick Williams, and then Rhys Hoskins. So if I was going to stack up one team, I think it would be the Phillies, but not super psyched about either one.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking at the Cardinals a little bit. We have them as the 6th most owned stack on DraftKings. So guys like Carpenter, Pham, Ozuna, Molina are popping up a lot for me. And then I'm even getting like little bits of Jerko, Fowler, Munoz. Martinez is just expensive and a first baseman, so it becomes a little difficult to get to him. But yeah, I'm going to end up with a bunch of them here. I kind of hope that Pivetta stays with some decent projected ownership. Right now we've got him at 22%, so I'll feel a little bit better about being on the Cardinals side just in case things go tits up for Pivetta again.
Sure.
And I don't get any Phillies whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, just the weather, and if I'm going to have 150 teams, I'll have some hitters from this game, but they won't be main stacks for me at all. I think there's quite a few other better spots.
I'm with you there. All right, Yankees and Nats. This is relevant for the FanDuel crew only, not a part of the DraftKings slate.
Got it.
4.9 run implied total for the Yankees, 4.5 for the Nats. It's a 54% chance to win for the Yankees. Sonny Gray going for New York. Eric Fede going for Washington. I don't love Sonny Gray here. I don't love Fede here. It's just hitting for me, and even then, it's more like tiny stacks than full-on team stacks. I like Hicks, Stanton, and Bird the most on the Yankees. I like Turner, Harper, Rendon on the Nats. I'll get to little bits of some other guys, but for right now, this game is more just, I don't want to say filler, because obviously these guys are better than filler, but like that's kind of what they are. They're the guys that go with another stack.
Is this a suspended game? I can't remember.
They're making up games from a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I'm not sure why DK didn't.
They had their slate out early, so this slate has been posted for a little bit because they're running some bigger tourneys.
Got it.
So
they didn't know the game time
already, they weren't able to enter this stuff in. Is my guess, because they're running some interesting stuff that we should probably talk about.
Yeah. All right. So I wasn't prepared for this game, but just looking at it, so Sonny Gray just faced the Nationals, right? But that was in Yankee Stadium.
No idea.
Last week, I think. I don't know.
No memory.
I would be all over the Nationals bats against Sonny Gray. Gray's been better. There's no doubt about it. Looks like Romine's going to catch him, which is a plus for Gray. But on the road here, this one's also 90-plus degrees with wind blowing out. So Harper, Murphy, Rendon, really 1 through 7. I love Eaton at the top. It seems like they're all, I don't know if that's priced up on FanDuel. I don't play over there enough, but I should be playing over there today because I want to play some Nationals at somewhat low ownership.
It's not somewhat low ownership. It is minuscule ownership. We've got the Nats
Yeah.
17th, and the Yankees 18th in total ownership right now on FanDuel. This game's not getting touched from a hitting perspective.
Right. That's confusing to me too. Where's all the ownership going? Because you cannot get better weather than this for hitting.
And it's going to the Rangers, Mets, Indians, Royals, Dodgers, Brewers.
All right. Well, I guess I will be zigging while they're zag.
Yeah. So I got a lot of Nats and a lot of Yankees in comparison to the field. So I'm not sure why. It could just be like a function of this being a makeup game. Like people are missing it for some strange reason, or it's like not included in.
Maybe because it's not included on DraftKings, people are just kind of like it won't be talked about as much.
They could be
type of thing. I don't know.
That's gonna put me on, some of these major bats.
For sure.
It's hard to fade guys that are like talented too.
Well, I mean, I've talked about it like every day. You guys are probably sick of me mentioning all these Nats bats, but that lineup just looks so good on paper. It's hard for me not to play them every single day when they're going up against a not elite pitcher. So.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm with you. Gonna be a weird game, but I'll have a lot of it. I hope no one has it. Like I hope it stays down here in this 2% range. I will happily have a bunch of Nats and Yankees to supplement.
Yeah.
Like I'll happily put in who's the best cheap stack. Like the Royals are going to be one of the cheaper stacks of the day. I'll happily have a big Royal stack with parts of this game, so I can get Judge, Gregorius, Stanton, or something with whatever works on the Royals, and then take the pitcher that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm confused at the ownership today. So
very, very, very confused.
But it's exciting.
I love it. It makes me I'm happy to take good bats.
Yeah.
I'm nervous when I have overexposure to teams that I think suck, but if I'm going to be overexposed to the Yankees and Nats, fuck it. I'll take my chances that one of all of these monster sluggers go deep.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on to the game that's going to really screw shit up all day. White Sox and Indians. White Sox 3.2 run implied total. Indians 5.3. This has gotten bigger for the Indians since the night shift. 71% chance to win for Cleveland. Dylan Covey going for Chicago. Trevor Bauer for the Indians. I don't have much to say about Bauer. He's clearly one of the two best options with him and Cole. We're projecting them to be the two chalkiest pitchers by a mile. I like them. I'm cool with it. The problem here is that I love Bauer, and I absolutely love the Indians' bats. And there's a really realistic chance that this game doesn't even happen, which really, really, really messes with the entire slate. There's way too much good shit in Cleveland tonight that it's going to have ripple effects through the entire slate.
Yeah.
I made Jake go away somehow. There he is. You're back.
No. On my back? All right. This is my favorite game on the slate, and Bauer's my favorite pitcher on the slate. He's just been incredible. Over his last 4 starts, striking out at least 11 hitters in all of them, over 13% swinging strike rate in all of them. He just dominated the White Sox, and he just looks unconscious right now. It just seems like he's going to strike out 10 every single time he goes out there, and he gets to pitch at home here. Wind blowing in for him. The bottom of this White Sox lineup is a disaster. I mean, the strikeout should be there. There's no doubt if this game starts or if this game is able to play. But I kind of hope there are weather concerns because it looks like it gets worse as the night goes on rather than. I mean, if it's a late start, they're probably not playing it from what I'm looking at right now because it's going to rain all night.
Yeah.
But if this rain comes in at 8:30 Eastern and Bauer's able to pitch 6 innings or 7 innings if he is efficient, that's appealing to me because people are just going to write him off and go over to Cole on DraftKings if there's weather concerns. So
Kind of hope it. Me shook, man.
Yeah. Where's Bauer rank for you? Is he first or second?
Both. I can't. It's hard to make a distinction between the two. I've got Cole projected for 26.6. I've got Bauer projected for 26.1. They're separated by 0.4 of a point on FanDuel. By all accounts, they're the same guy. I said on the night shift last night, ownership will tell the story for me. If either one of them was wonky in either way, I'd flip to the other side. But even now, like, we're projecting them with basically the same ownership. They've got the same projection. Like, I'll just have them both. They're interchangeable for me.
Yeah, I've got Bauer a good bit above Cole just because of their recent form. So Bauer is a clear number one, and that's going to get dicey with the weather. So I'll be looking at Cleveland AccuWeather all day. That'll be my afternoon to see if I can get to playing Bauer. So it should be fun. And then I'm assuming you like Cleveland bats here, right?
Love them. Number 1 stack on DK. Number 4 on FanDuel. And really, the only reason they're not higher on FanDuel, and for all intents and purposes, they are, they're percentage points behind the Brewers. They're part of the 5 teams that are getting like all of my shit. So while I say that they're 4th, they could conceivably be, second with a different dice roll.
Right.
I'm smashing everybody basically. The only guy that I don't really go for on DK is Tyler Naquin, and I pound the shit out of him on FanDuel because he's minimum salary. So I'm bouncing all over the place on the Indians, but ultimately I get to all of them across both sites. Lindor is probably one of my favorite plays of the day on DK.
Yeah. So Covey's been good.
He has.
Results wise, but for like swinging strike rate and like his chase rate, nothing is all that impressive to me. So I don't see anything that sticks out in that I don't want to stack against Covey. And a 5-run total, over 5-run total for Cleveland. They're at home here. They just set up so well as a stack that it's hard for me to not play Cleveland, even though I sort of respect what Covey's done. I think he's probably better than what his swinging strike rate and all that says, but this Cleveland team is really, really tough, and really tough at home too. So yeah, I like the Cleveland bats. They're probably a top 3 stack for me, even though I don't really rank my stacks. I kind of wait until the ownership settles in later in the day, but they'll be in the top 3 to 5 for sure.
Yeah, speaking of ownership for them, let's just get that out of the way. So they are 3rd on FanDuel right now in our ownership projections. They are 2nd on DK. So we're projecting some ownership there. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out if the weather messes with the game at all. Obviously, if there are weather concerns, the bats are going to be safer than Bauer in this case. But I don't think it'll matter all that much either way. If you ask me right now to put money on either side, I would say this game doesn't happen.
Yeah, I would probably agree. Just looking at like the percentage of rain, it's like 70% right at game time, and then it gets up to like 90. Like there's going to be a big storm, it looks like. So it's just going to be a timing thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. It's going to shake up this slate big time.
Yeah.
God. I wonder how that'll affect the Yankees-Nats game on FanDuel.
Everyone's going to get bumped way up. So Cole, if the game looks like it's not going to play or gets postponed or whatever, Cole's going to be 50% at least.
Dan C doesn't appear to be a big fan of the Indians right now.
I mean,
in the chat.
I must be watching a different Indians game. I don't know. If you want to fade the Indians, that's fine. Like there are other very good stacks on the slate. If you like Covey or just don't believe in all these Indians hitters, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kipnis and Roberto Perez, but I think all these guys match up well against Covey individually. So that leads me to wanting to stack.
Yeah, and the public. So if we're projecting them with the second most ownership on DK, I'm starting to think that Dan C is watching a different Indians game.
Could be.
I'm just messing with you, Dan C. I don't think we have anything else to touch on here. Just keep an eye on the weather.
Yeah.
Dodgers and Cubs. Did this total come out yet? Because I could probably go ahead and update this if it has.
I don't see one. There's wind, so we won't get it for a while.
Yeah, that's probably true. Let me just double check it, because I know it usually pops up one way or the other while we're on this show, so at the very least I'll bring my stuff up. Yep, still nothing. So I have it in for 8 as the total. This is another game where I don't think it'll have any problem starting, but it might have some trouble finishing. Which I don't really care about because I don't really care too much about this game. I've got it at an 8-run total. If that goes higher than that, it'll probably open up the Dodgers' bats a bit. So I've got it at 4.2 for the Dodgers, 3.8 for the Cubs. 54% chance to win for LA. Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers. Tyler Chatwood for the Cubs. I don't like the pitching here. Maeda's price point isn't really the best. We're projecting Maeda with basically no ownership. We're projecting Chatwood with very low ownership. If I were going to get to anybody, it would probably be Chatwood just because of sort of the way the slate breaks out. He'll get a little bit of a look for guys that are trying to go to Cole and Bauer or DeGrom. So I don't really like the Dodgers are a pretty low owned stack for me. We're not projecting any crazy ownership or anything. This game kind of just exists. I'd rather it just stay quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I hope there's some weather concerns in this one as well because I want to play Dodgers bats against Chatwood. Chatwood is quickly becoming one of my favorite pitchers to stack against. He's just the king of walks.
You hate the Cubs, man.
Yeah, I hate the Cubs. No, I hate some of the Cubs pitching. Quintana, Lester, Chatwood. Maybe it's because I watched them.
They played for Minnesota.
Maybe it's because I watch them too much, or I've watched them too much over the last few years.
The whole conversation I have every day when people rag on me for not liking whatever's going on in the Braves. You know your own team too well.
Maybe that's a bias I need to get rid of, but also the numbers, especially for Chatwood. So he over 8 walks per 9 to both sides. So I thought he was just walking lefties. He's walking over 8 righties per 9 as well. And he's getting lucky on the quality of contact. 5.76 xFIP against lefties this year, or 5.77. He gets ground balls, but that's about all. Like the only good thing I can say about him. And man, it just seems like Bellinger and Grandal and Jock Peterson. Peterson should be leading off in this game, not Chris Taylor. But I still like 1 through 8 really against Chatwood. I don't respect him. He's going to put guys on base, and then you set that up for Bellinger, Grandal, Puig, Jock. It's just Dodgers are one of my favorite stacks of the night. So hoping this one stays low owned.
Yeah, I can see myself liking the Dodgers more if this run total goes higher. I might be underestimating it a bit, but I'm still getting to them a little. I'll happily be on the Dodgers side for hitters. And, there are stacks for the Cubs that work. If you can get like Zobrist, Hayward, Rizzo, and I don't know, anybody else, I think that's fine. It's just expensive. But ultimately, the weather is going to matter more than anything else.
Yeah. Why do we have Muncie being so low? Muncie's like one of my favorite players on the slate.
I barely get to him. I only got 1% of Muncie.
Dude, he's good against righties. 389 on base percentage, 46% hard hit rate, 286 ISO. I mean, I don't know. I must be missing something on Muncie. Looks fine to me.
3,900 on FanDuel, 4,500 on DK. I mean, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy you're going to one-off, especially if this weather, if the run total's not that high and the Dodgers aren't that popular of a stack, then it's going to be hard to get to Max Muncie on his own.
Sure. Well, I'll be just loading up on Dodgers bats. So I'll have all the Muncie. Anything on the Cubs side for you?
Not really. Little bits of any of them, like their good hitters, I think are fine, but they're not anybody I'm focusing on.
Okay. I realized when I asked you that, I could just look at the screen, but I always got like 16 tabs open.
Oh, no, I mean, it's easier to just ask me. I'm staring at it. Yeah, like, I don't have any issues with anybody on the Cubs, but they're not a team that I'm going to get to with any bulk.
I see you got a little bit of Hayward and Zobrist. I like that.
Yeah.
And then Rizzo. So, I mean, I can talk myself into a full stack because Chris Bryant and Contreras are just good hitters.
Right, that's the thing. They're just expensive. They're hard to go with the bigger pitchers today. Like, if you want to do the Cubs, you need to be going, like, Pivetta McCollus or Pivetta Smith, Caleb Smith or something like that and try to get unique.
And I will be doing that a good amount. And Pivetta and Smith and another guy that I like that's around their prices too. So, I'll have some Cubs exposure, but it won't really take much to be over the field.
No, we've got them 11th on DK, so.
Yeah. So I like this game for hitting, even if it's a Wrigley win game.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Let's do it.
Rays and Astros. Rays 3-run implied total. Astros 5. It's a 72% chance to win for the Stros. Ryan Stanek is the Tampa Bay nominal starter for today. Garrett Cole going for the Astros. I don't care enough to look up who's coming in after Stanek because they're fucking monster underdogs and I'm not going to play them anyway. Garrett Cole's the dude. Anything that I said about Trevor Bauer previously, just assume that I'm feeling the same way about Cole. Only good thing about Cole is we don't have to worry about rainouts or anything. So Cole's going to get more and more popular throughout the day if that weather goes to shit in Cleveland. And I like him. I mean, he's obviously one of the best options. He and Bauer are the only two guys that I have projected over 9 Ks today. It's just Garrett Cole's good. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look up who's coming in. I thought it was going to be Idrisi. I may be wrong on that. Does anybody know in the chat? This is why it's great to have a chat.
It's not Pruitt, right?
I believe Pruitt just started. Man, I'm getting my days mixed up with these Rays pitchers because they'll start the same reliever like every third day.
It's not going to matter. They're not playable in this situation.
No. I'm just saying.
You talking about
to see how much I like
Astros hitters?
Yeah, to see how much I like the Houston bats. These guys all kind of fall into the same category for me. I'm not really scared of any of the guys they bring in besides Yarbrough a little bit, but even if it was going to be Yarbrough, and I don't think it is because I think he just pitched.
If it were Yarbrough, I think the Rays would be a little bit closer to the Astros than what they are. But it could be him. I mean, Cole is that good, but that's why this ass beating is being projected.
Yeah. And I think Cole is just perfectly fine, and he becomes the obvious chalk if the game looks like it's not going to play. I'm a little worried about Cole. He's not been the same guy the last 5 starts. Like, the chase rate's down, the swinging strike rate is down. I don't know about his velocity. I guess I can look at that really quick. Velocity looks fine. It's actually up lately. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't want to play 13K Garrett Cole. I think he's overpriced. It's a good spot, and he's got a great chance to be the raw point leader. But I want to prioritize. It's
very hard to avoid.
Right.
Because if shit goes right, like, he's the nuts.
Right.
More than anybody else on this slate. Well, I mean, Bauer, I guess, but, like,
yeah, so I
fade that totally.
And, like, if there was neutral weather, then I would be all over Bauer. I would have, like, 60% Bauer and then, like, close to 0% Cole. I think Bauer is a much better play. The weather just screws everything up. So I like Cole, but I think Bauer's clearly a better play. So it's just hard for me to get to him if there's no Bauer on the slate.
Like I said, I like them both. You can flip flop them. You can send one to Cleveland and one to Houston. It wouldn't make much of a difference to me. I'd have the same stuff. I don't care too much about the Astros bats, but I probably should. We have them with the 5th most ownership. I'm basically fading them. I have half of the field ownership-wise on the Astros. And I think a lot of that has to do with just how heavy I am on the more expensive pitching today. It's hard for me to get to the top end of pitching and the Astros. So while I like Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa, right now I'm a bit lightweight on them. I'm a little nervous.
Oh, I would be. So they've kind of reverted back to their like last year version of the Astros.
Yeah.
Over the last month against righties. Highest WRC plus 127. The next highest is LA actually at 114. 206 ISO. 338 on base percentage. These are all like top 5, and then they're not striking out either. So I don't know, Houston, like, they're just a team you kind of have to ride because they just go on these crazy streaks, it seems like. And they didn't make a ton of noise this weekend that I remember, but I wasn't paying attention to the actual games. I was more paying attention to my winnings. But they look fantastic once again, no matter who comes in, especially if it's Andriese. I like them a ton.
I'm so nervous now looking at this game. Okay, so if this Indians game does go to shit, I'm going to need to move 25% ownership of Bauer to other guys that are significantly cheaper, which should pull the Astros up as a hitting stack on my end, because I'll have the salary to do it. But they also don't grade out all that well for me, which is, I don't know, surprising. It's just the price point. I mean, 5,000, 4,600, 5,000, 4,800. That is costly for the first 4 guys. Now, it's warranted. Those guys are exceptional hitters. But thank God they play like good positions.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Like, you don't have to spend up on a ton of outfield positions. Like Reddick, I think, is one of the better values of the day. Batting 6th, 3,300 with the platoon split. Gaddis has just been raking. Yuli in the middle there for 3,800. You can get to an Astro stack, even with some higher priced pitching. If you go like one stud and one guy in the Tyler Anderson range or something like that. So I'll be all over the Astros, especially if there's no Bauer. I'll have a lot more Astros than I anticipated.
Yeah, that's what will change it for me. Duncan in the chat. I don't have a set number of people that defines primary or secondary. I'm just talking about a volume of ownership, not like a construction style. I don't know if you think about that differently, Jake.
You can do it on some optimizers that I've played around with. So it's Fantasy Cruncher. Can you do that? Can you set primary and secondary?
I mean, you can set multiple types of stack. You call it whatever you want.
So yeah, you can do that on most optimizers. I mean, but mostly just referring to ownership. Like if I say it's a secondary stack, that might be my 8th most owned stack instead of a primary stack where it's like my 3rd, where I've got over 10% of them or something like that.
Yeah, I'm using that terminology to distinguish how much of the total ownership I will have, not necessarily I consider a secondary stack 3 guys. I consider a primary 5 guys. That's not the way that I'm looking at it. So I hope that helps, Duncan. All right.
Do you have any Tampa bats? You don't have any Tampa bats, right? I don't either.
No Tampa bats. It would be real tough to get there today.
Yeah.
I'm sure Shanzan will have a Tampa stack and win $250K.
Ship everything. Yeah.
This one's going to be fun. I'm excited here. Rangers and Royals. Rangers, 4.8 run implied total. Royals, 4.9. 51% chance to win for the Royals. Bartolo Colon for Texas, Ian Kennedy for Kansas City. I've had Ian Kennedy pop up more than I would like him to on DK, but this isn't a game about pitching. This is a game about hitting. And I am stacking the crap out of this game. Rangers are the clear chalk stack for us on DraftKings, way above the field in our projected ownership. Royals are coming in 4th right now, and if I look at it on FanDuel, it's even more ridiculous. The Rangers have 18% of the total ownership on FanDuel. Next closest is the Mets at 10%.
Wow.
That's a massive, massive gap. Royals are 4th on both sites. So I am stacking up this game big time. I actually have the Royals as my number 1 DK stack. Rangers come in at 2nd and 4th for me. So all hitting. I'll have a lot of just full game stacks here. I'll get whatever I can get out of this game from a hitting perspective. I assume you're not looking at Cologne or Kennedy at all, and this would be hitting for you.
No. Yeah, it's just hitting. So just like putting on my Osmo hat here, they have a 5-run total, right? Is that what you have for the Rangers?
Yeah.
So that's like a solid total. It's good. It's one of the best on the day. But if they're going to be that highly owned, then that would probably qualify as them being over-owned, I would think.
Agreed.
So I'm a little bit weary of them. I think they're fine plays. But Texas can strike out a ton, and they can be really tilting at times. I like that Elvis Andrus is back. He's going to be one of the higher-owned players on the slate, but 3,600 at shortstop. Give me some of that. Give me some Beltre. Gallo will be chalky against Ian Kennedy. Fly ball Ian Kennedy. I don't know. I like Chu, Andrus, and Beltre the best, but it's a perfectly fine stack. I just don't think it's like my top stack on the night, like everyone else is going to treat it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll obviously have a bunch of them. I can't just get away from it. I need to look at one thing here. Yeah, Elvis Andrus is not in the player pool on Fantasy Cruncher right now. I was wondering why I was getting 0 of him. So keep an eye on that if you're using Cruncher. They're so cheap, and that is what's driving so much of this for me. Let me double check just so I can give it a quick glance. So Chu at 4,500. Okay, Mazzara at 4,000. Those are the only 2 guys that pass 4. Everybody else is in like the 2s and 3s. It's just hard to avoid all of this cheap stuff. But I'm going to try to focus as much as I can on like the lower owned portions of this to try to be a little bit more unique.
I would agree. It's just such healthy ownership for a pretty decent sized slate that it's making me like Andrus is my favorite play, but he's also everyone else's favorite play, it looks like. So I don't know. I mean, Chu's ownership is okay. It looks like Beltre's is fine. I don't know why he would be that much lower owned than the rest of the stack, but he would be one of the higher owned players I have if I'm stacking up Texas. What about the KC bats? Which are your favorites?
All of them, man. Gordon, Moustakas, and Perez are like the 3 clear best options on both sites. And then like Merrifield, I think, looks really good on DK. Abraham Almonte looks really good on FanDuel. But the 2, 3, 4 is where I'll have my focus.
Yeah, I think Moustakas is one of the best plays of the night.
Agreed.
And then Alex Gordon. I would probably go Moustakas, Salvador Perez. That would be my clear 1 and 2. Gordon right behind. Mondesi in the 9 spot is actually one of my top guys on the Royals stack, but I don't know. We'll see. It's just hard for me to play a 9-hole hitter, but second base shortstop for 3,200 is fine with me.
I got to hash out the Mondesi thing in the 9 spot. I didn't realize I had the gap. I just was paying attention and thinking it was like a pitcher spot, but
yeah. Do you input all your like your batting order stuff by hand?
No. Well, I have a copy and paste macro, so I copy it,
Got it.
click a button, and it spits it out. So
Okay.
I don't like physically type it.
All right.
This one broke because he's Adalberto Mondesi on some spots and Raul Mondesi on others, so it's a name break for me.
Mm-hmm.
I assume he's Adalberto in one of these, and that's what's fucking it up.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sheets like you, and I was inputting it all by hand yesterday. I was like, there has to be a better way, but whatever.
Yeah, I copy them from another place.
Yeah, I know which place you copied from. We have the same. We know.
Okay, so he is in here. He just didn't get added to the lineup. So paste that in. Is he Raul on both spots? Where the hell is he Adalberto then? Oh, he's Adalberto on DK. Fucking assholes.
Thanks, Aaron D. We like helping you guys, so hopefully this is all helpful to everyone, but not everyone can like us as much as you, Aaron D.
So I just want to hash this out. Okay, yeah, so he's Adalberto on both, but he's Raul on FanDuel, which makes things quite difficult.
Yeah.
And he's... What is... Oh, so he's Adalberto on our place as well. Let me correct that quickly. Adalberto Mondesi and Raul Mondesi. Okay, now that'll stop happening for me. Do I like him at all? That's the next question. Yeah, buddy. I'll have quite a bit of him on FanDuel. 2,000 minimum salary for a shortstop.
Ooh,
nice. He'll hit my ownership cap probably. I don't know. He projects pretty shitty.
Yeah. Well.
To be fair, he's a child.
Yeah.
3,200 dual eligibility on DK. Yeah, that'll make some shit work.
Yeah.
God, he already projects to be a better hitter than Alcides Escobar. Move him up to that 6 hole.
Well, it's not very hard. I think I would project to be a better hitter than Escobar.
Yeah, not a lot of pop in that bat.
He hit a home run last week when I was just trashing him. So, congrats on your Alcides Escobar chalk home run.
Yeah, this game will be weird because of ownership, and the Indians game probably won't help it at all. I'll be underweight on the Rangers tonight just because of how high they're going, and I expect to be significantly overweight on the Royals.
I'm with you.
Alrighty. Mets and Rockies. Mets, 5.1 run implied total. Rockies, 4.6. We've got lines out for Tampa, Houston, and Dodgers and Cubs. Dodgers and Cubs, an 8-run line,
Nice.
Which is where I had it, so that makes me happy. And Rays and Astros are working their way towards an 8-run line, which is where I have it. So nice.
Okay. Good.
54% chance to win for the Mets. Jake DeGrom going for New York. Tyler Anderson going for Colorado. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to get it out there. I'm letting everybody know it's happening. I'm going to mash DeGrom in Colorado. I don't give a fudge about Coors Field. I'm going at it with Jake DeGrom. I'm going to be well over the field. I hope that Bauer and the Indians don't mess up my tons of DeGrom. We're only projecting 9% on DeGrom right now. I'm going to have 3 times that, I hope, by the time we get closer to lock. I'm not worried about Coors tonight. Give me some DeGrom.
I mean, I'm worried about Coors, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to play DeGrom. He's like the perfect type of pitcher to play in Coors. And you wish you could get a little bit of a better discount on him, but he's favored. A lot of his outs come by strikeout, so if he's on, he can get you 10 Ks. You won't have to worry about Coors Field, like the environment being an advantage to the Rockies hitters, because they won't be putting the ball in play that much. It's kind of the same thing I said with Pivetta, but obviously DeGrom has much, much better stuff and has been doing it a lot longer. He throws a fastball and a slider. Those 2 pitches will be fine in Coors for the most part. And, you know, you got Blackman in there, LeMahieu, Arenado, but the bottom of this lineup is not very impressive. Tom Murphy, Desmond's fine, pitcher spot, Parra. yeah, you get a discount on DeGrom. You should be 13K, I think, if he was anywhere other than Coors. But I'll take the discount, and I'll probably have more DeGrom than Cole if that Indians game gets or looks like it's going to be in jeopardy.
Yeah, I want it. I want to go heavy on DeGrom. I want it to work out, and I want to like pat myself on the back for it when it's done. I want all of those things.
It's always the best when you play a pitcher in Coors and they smash.
I know.
You just feel like the best DFS player to ever walk the earth.
If it happens, I'm just gonna set it up every hour on the hour. I'm just gonna play the GIF of either Conor McGregor or Vince McMahon doing the billionaire strut, just over and over and over again.
I mean, I think that's an inefficiency though in like the DFS industry, that people don't play enough pitchers in Coors, because it used to be, or like it's gotten to the point where no one plays pitchers in Coors besides like the studs, but they're like 6% all the time, and I think that's wrong. Guys still have huge strikeout games in Coors. John Gray always goes under-owned when he's at home, and Tyler Anderson's going to go under-owned tonight. So, you have any interest in Anderson on the other side?
Nah, I don't. I didn't get to him at all. I get hit. I have him for 13 DK points. It's just really 5.1 total for the Mets is hard to get back to Anderson for. Like, the Rockies are slowly getting to that point at 4.6 for DeGrom. I'm willing to take the chance because he has much better stuff than Anderson. But yeah, I think the Mets total passed the point of no return for Anderson.
Yeah, I like Anderson a lot, actually. So I've mentioned about the Mets against lefties. They've just been atrocious all year. I think a little bit better lately, but still they're not good against lefties at all. Let me look up the numbers so I have some point of reference here. Over the last month, top 5 in K percentage, 25%. That's very nice. Under 300 on base percentage. Their WRC plus is bottom 6 in the MLB, 75. They just can't hit lefties, and it kind of makes sense when you go down their lineup. You've got Wilmer Flores in there, Frazier as Drupal Cabrera, but I'm not really scared of Ahmed Rosario leading off. Bautista at the bottom of that lineup. Nimmo strikes out a ton against lefties. And then Anderson is better against right-handed pitching, I think, if I remember correctly, but right-handed hitting. So I don't mind playing Anderson and Coors at low ownership and super cheap.
Did we just look him up a couple days ago and find out that it wasn't the case? Is that who we were thinking about?
No, dude, I don't think it was Anderson, but that one I was just that was Vargas.
I got it here. Career xFIP against lefties 382, career xFIP against righties 398. So that's a really narrow bar.
So he's like even splits then, you could say.
Yeah, he's not it's not as big of a gap as most people are. So yeah. You're not wrong.
So his xFIP this year against lefties is 492, 197 whip against lefties. For some reason, he's walking a ton of them, and maybe that's what I was thinking of. Lower whip.
That could just be fluky too.
Yeah, way lower whip against righties. A lot less walks, lower xFIP.
He's only faced 62 lefties.
Yeah. So small sample.
That's 9.
But he's got the swinging strike rate, over 12%. That's one of the higher rates on the slate. I don't know. He just seems like a pretty solid pitcher to me that's capable of big performances even in Coors, especially against this team. If it was a different team, I wouldn't be as excited about Anderson, but he just is going to unlock so much that for 6,200, I have a hard time avoiding him.
I have a hard time reconciling what I should do here. The Mets have the most ownership for me of anybody on FanDuel. I have quite a bit of them on DK. But when I look at their stats and see that they slug below 300 against left-handed pitching, fucking terrible.
They're awful.
A .090 ISO, which is essentially like 9 Billy Hamiltons. Really bad. 63 weighted runs created plus against lefties. These guys have been like dog shit dipped in cat shit
And it would be so perfect, right? Because, I mean, people are just going to play him because they're in Coors, and you've got Rosario leading off. So I kind of like don't want people to be rewarded for playing the Mets against the lefty because it's not worked this entire year. And if they go in and crush Anderson and they're chalk, I'm gonna be pretty upset. So it's hard not to play them. I get why you'd want to play the Mets. Anything can happen in this crazy ballpark.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, honestly. So
sorry, I just watched that yesterday.
Why would you watch that yesterday?
It might have been the anniversary of it. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago.
Okay.
It popped up in my timeline, so I watched him yelling that shit. It was in my head. Yeah, I don't know how to reconcile this. I'm getting a ton of Mets and they suck. Kind of bums me out.
Yeah. I probably won't have a lot of hitters on either side. So if it's 11-10, I will be logged off. And maybe won't return tomorrow, but we'll see. I think this is going to be lower scoring than most Coors games.
I'm hoping that the Indians game gets axed early and all of the additional salary that gets opened up from Bauer and the Indians bats bring up more expensive stacks and sort of make the Mets less interesting.
Okay.
Playing the long game with that one in my head. But
yeah.
Whatever. All right, 2 games left. That's not how you spell Diamondbacks. Still not how you spell it. Finally got it. Nope, still didn't. Can I not spell?
Is it D-backs?
No.
Diamondbacks.
Did I not put their lineup in? Can I not type? Am I just retarded this morning? And I'm not supposed to use that word.
I think you have Marlins hitters in the Diamondbacks spot.
Certainly do. Good eye. Sometimes I don't switch the drop down before I enter the lineup. Easy fix. Luckily, this game sucks from an offense perspective, so I don't expect these guys to be popping up on the crunch that I did incorrectly. Alright,
okay.
Diamondbacks are in. Now let's try this again. There we go. And I'm missing that stupid asshole Jose Miguel Fernandez and his ridiculous extra spaces and stuff in his name. I'm not even hunting this down right now. I don't care enough. It's something different everywhere. I can't. Now he's Jose Fernandez here. He's Jose Space Fernandez somewhere. Give me a break. Diamondbacks and Angels, 3.9 run implied total for both. Slight favorites for the D-backs. Zach Greinke going for Arizona. Jaime Barria going for the Angels. I'll get to a bit of Greinke on DK. I don't get to your guy at all, and you're going to talk about him, aren't you?
Jaime, yeah. I'm going to talk about Barria. He's just been impressive. Yeah, he's been impressive to me. And 3.6 run total. I'm surprised you're not on him.
Dude,
for Arizona.
Not only am I not, well, maybe I need to rerun that. No, he grades out like shit. Okay, there we go. I won't be on him, but he looks better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know how we grade out poorly for you, but for me, he's just been impressive. Whole matchup against the Diamondbacks. Arizona's been a lot better lately. We've mentioned a bunch of times, but still striking out 25% of the time against righties on the year, 297 on base percentage, and there's like even if you sort by the last month or so, they're still striking out a ton. Just like their ISO and stuff, and on base percentage is better. But Barria gets guys to chase. He gets guys to swing and miss. I don't know, who are you scared of besides Goldschmidt and Lamb in this lineup? I mean, you don't like Descalso. J.R. Murphy against a righty isn't as tough of a matchup. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's not to like about Berea. Maybe you could say he's overpriced, but he's been good.
Yeah, I've got him. I only have him at 13.9 fantasy points. Not getting a lot of Ks or anything in this matchup. I don't know. Yeah, price probably isn't helping. I'd much rather have Caleb Smith.
I mean, yeah.
And then I'd much rather have Pavetta. And these are guys that are cheaper than him, so it's kind of hard. And then I prefer Greinke, and he's $600 more. Mikolas, $200 more. Like, he's kind of trapped in between a bunch of guys I like better.
See, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know how to argue that he's not a good or not like a usable play, at least. Just if you look at the Vegas total, if you look at his numbers, who he's kind of done it against, he's been good in some tough matchups. Yeah, I mean the one bad start he had was against the Yankees, where I think he gave up like 3 home runs in Yankee Stadium, but I'll forgive him for that. So I like him a lot. Everything that I look for, he's got, and he's only 8,100, 68 on FanDuel. That's really appealing to me.
To be fair, you are on an island right now.
Nice. I'm glad.
Also, I wanted to circle back in it just because Alex in the chat said something about Tehran from yesterday. They mentioned that he was 5% owned. Should have been a little bit higher. If anybody cared to watch the show in the morning or my Spotlight Pitchers article, when I put my boy Tehran on blast, called him out as one of my second best options, and nailed that shit. Pat me on the back for that one. See? When I like the Braves, I'm right. It's all I know. It's all I know. I didn't get to the 8. Like, this is just a weird game. It's pretty much just Greinke for me. I'll probably have a little bit of, like, Goldschmidt and Lamb in some way. Goldschmidt in particular, just because, well, he's my dude. Super expensive now, though. 5,500 Goldschmidt is scary expensive Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
But this isn't a game that I care to talk about all that much. It's not interesting.
Oh, I mean, I like the pitching. I'm not on Greinke. I mean, he's giving up 46% hard contact to righties. His xFIP is low, his BABIP is low, but I'm a little bit worried about him on the road in general. So I'll have Trout and Valbuena, maybe your boy Jose Miguel Fernandez for 2,800 as well.
I still haven't fixed his name. I can't even figure out where he is in here. Driving me insane. Jose Fernandez. Is he just not in the player pool for me personally?
Well, he's got an extra space in his name on some sites.
Yeah,
so.
I thought I fixed that problem, but apparently I haven't. Which is, not the most fun situation in the world, but let's see if I can find it again. Okay, so now he's Jose Miguel Fernandez. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, no Minnesota Jakes, no Luis Castillo and Godley. It should be a good day for me to take off, but we got some of my other boys on the slate. Tyler Anderson and Bauer and who else? Oh, Berea. Plus my boy Caleb Smith, even though I'm probably not using him that much. But.
Makad, I took Tehran from your article, won 6.5 times my buy-in. That's a lot of dirty dicks, my friend.
Sounds so bad.
It's a hot sauce, people. Get your head out of the gutter. Talking about hot sauce here. Marlins and Giants, final game. Marlins 3.3 run implied total. Giants 4.0. 59% chance to win for the Giants. Caleb Smith going for the Marlins. Andrew Suarez, who I believe might be my son, going for the Giants. I've got a ton of Suarez. I've got a decent amount of Smith. I'm a little bit over the field on Suarez, and I am unable to find Smith with my eye. I am neutral with the field on Smith. Both guys in double-digit ownership. Pitching is key for me here. Giants bats are functionally okay at the top, but it's pitching for me.
Yeah. So you like your boy Suarez.
Yeah.
I think Suarez is fine. I think he's a play that makes some sense here. The Marlins on the road in a big park, you're not that worried about him getting blasted for home runs, at least. He should be able to keep the ball in the park. But I like Castro, Anderson, and Real Muto. Once again, anytime these guys are against a lefty, that's a tough 1-2-3. And Suarez gives up over 40% hard contact. Righties, no one's going to be on the Marlins bats, right? Like,
I doubt it. Let me double check it.
oh man, my boy Brian Anderson is at almost 10%.
Marlins bats are 15th total in ownership, so not really.
I like my Marlins. They're kind of my team against lefties. I don't know why. Just those top three. They've won GPPs lately. Like your boy Shanzan, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was the guy that Manny was doing the stream about. He was just like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah. He couldn't even figure out how he got there.
He's won 2 GPPs with Marlins, right?
I think so.
He just cleaned house.
Yeah. This is not the spot though. Not in Giants Stadium.
Yeah. If this was in Miami or somewhere better, then I would be really, really on the Marlins bats. But DK pricing has kind of figured out that at least those top 3 are good and they should be higher priced. Before they were like 3K, Anderson and Castro, and now they're up to 42 and 3,600. So still interested in them, but it is a tough price for a tough park. I'm guessing Suarez is going to be somewhat of a popular option with that run total and his opponent that lacks power, but I'll probably still be underweight on him.
Aaron D in the chat. Giants Stadium had the lowest home run factor for lefties last year at 82. No one even remotely close to that. For home runs as a righty, it was 88, also dead last. There are no home runs in San Francisco. So
dude, think about what Bonds was doing. No one can hit it out of there, and Bonds was just like every other day smacking it into what's it called, McCovey Cove.
Yeah.
It just makes that so much more ridiculous.
Be there in a week.
You will?
I think
so.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bonds just different kind of dude, man. So good.
He was juicing, but
didn't matter.
Those didn't matter.
No.
Those were going out of any park.
I mean, he was a Hall of Fame player, whether he took steroids or not. It didn't really matter. They act like he came out of nowhere, like he wasn't the son of a high-level baseball player prior to that.
He wasn't hitting second-row homers.
No.
He was blasting everyone. Righty, lefty, he was either walking or hitting a home run.
Yeah, nobody else was probably doing steroids. He probably never faced a pitcher that was on steroids.
Yeah, I'm sure he never faced Roger Clemens or the various. I think everyone was juicing. That was the thing.
It was awesome.
It was.
It couldn't have been cooler.
It was so fun. It was so much more fun.
One of these days, we need to just pull up his stats because I had a tweet in my time hop a couple days ago. Edwin Encarnacion was having a really good month, 4 years ago, he was slugging 900 or something crazy, real high on base percentage, and Bonds' numbers for the season in 01 or whatever were better than Encarnacion's just monthly numbers.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he had 1,000 OPS the year before the league basically kicked him out. They basically blackballed him.
Oh.
He was still the best hitter in baseball.
Up 500 on base percentages.
It's just stupid.
He had an OPS over 1,000 10, 12, 15 times. 1379, 1382, 1422. Yeah, the 04 season. 362, 609 on base percentage. That's 61% of the time he got on base. 812 slugging.
This player today, if his name wasn't Barry Bonds, 11% K rate, 27% walk rate, 480 on base percentage, 288 ISO.
He fucking $8,000 on FanDuel.
Yeah, and that was in his last year. he literally could have had like 3 or 4 more really good years.
He could have been a DH in the AL till he was 50.
Man, why are people so scared of Bonds?
Well, because he was an asshole. Being an asshole to the media didn't help. But yeah, he got blackballed for sure.
Who cares?
That 2004
so
season
nuts.
is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
God.
120 intentional walks. Dude, he played 147 games. That's almost one time per game where they were like, just fucking go, man.
Yeah.
It's insane. 45 home runs and 373 at-bats. Yeah.
I can't... Like, those numbers don't even make sense in today's game. But, I don't know. I mean, do you have the crunches pulled up? Or did we talk about Caleb Smith? Can't remember. This Bonds rabbit hole.
I would rather talk about Barry Bonds, honestly. If he were playing right now, though, he would be probably like 7,000 on DK.
What about Bonds and Coors against even
fucking gas can?
Even like Tyler Anderson, if Bonds was in Coors.
Who was like a shitty Coors pitcher the year that he went nuts? So,
oh man!
All right, let's see. 2004 NL. Yeah, Sean Estes, Jason Jennings, Jamie Wright, Jeff Fassaro. Oh my God, he would have been like 7,500. He would have been
Probably.
like Andrew Suarez.
God, what a stud.
Yeah, this would have been so bad, so bad. Sean Estes was the ace of the Rockies staff that year, and he had a 5.84 ERA.
Nice.
117 strikeouts and 105 walks. Honestly,
that's Tyler Chatwood.
So let's have a real conversation, though. I mean, a lot of the time you're going to have Bonds, and he's going to go 0 for 1 with 3 walks, and you're like, nah, shit.
Right, or he hits a home run, and then they walk him 2 straight times, and he gets you 18 DK points when you're looking for the double down games, and he probably didn't have a chance to do that a lot of the time. No. They didn't pitch to him.
He just had like the highest floor in the history of baseball hitters.
Yeah.
But you were almost guaranteed 10 plus just because he showed up that day.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we could talk Caleb Smith. I like him. Just because he misses bats, like it's always appealing.
So you don't like Berea, but you like Smith? $300 difference.
I mean, I have Smith as a much better strikeout artist than Berea.
Me too. I think, but the swinging strike rate, I believe, is very similar, and that's depending on who you talk to. That's predictive of strikeouts. Some people think it's not. Some people think it is. I think it is to a degree. So, Smith has 3 pretty solid pitches. So, I never have an issue playing him, especially in a big park. No Longoria in that lineup. McCutchen and Posey both make for fine plays on the other side, but I'll have some Smith for sure.
Courtney Jones, I think you're looking at Cleveland in a different state other than Ohio, because for sure that game is projecting rain.
I'm looking at the forecast for Cleveland. Let's see. I can do that while you're pulling up the crunches if you want.
I have it up. It's going to pour. It got worse. It literally got worse since the beginning of this. If you're not seeing rain, you're in the wrong Cleveland.
Is there another Cleveland? Progressive
like
Field.
10
That's
Clevelands. But yeah, it might not be raining in Cleveland, Arizona tonight.
Progressive Field.
I'm gonna pull up crunches.
All right.
There you go, Tom. Cleveland, Texas.
Let's see Cleveland.
There's Cleveland, Tennessee. People are dropping them all in here now. Not the best job of spelling Tennessee, Aaron D, but we'll let it go. I knew what you meant.
Wait, so I mean, I don't see anything. It's a long way away, but it looks like it's going way north. of Cleveland. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to start looking at radar until like 5 o'clock, but
Yeah,
as of right now, the expectations are a wet one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Alrighty, give me 2 pitchers. Here comes. If you want Berea, let me know so I can run a new crunch.
Let's see. Who do you have? Let me pull this up. You have Pivetta and let's try Pivetta and Bauer or DeGrom. Doesn't matter.
Let's do DeGrom since Bauer will point you in a different direction. So how about a 5-man Indian stack with a 3-man Salvador Perez, Moustakas, Merrifield stack?
Sure. If Cleveland plays.
Right. So let's try to find one without Cleveland. How about a 5-man Royal stack with Yelich, Thames, and Braun?
Nice. Like that.
This one's off the beaten path. 5-man Pirates stack with Posey, Belton, McCutcheon.
Like it.
That one falls off quite a bit, though. 5-point gap. I wouldn't be really happy going to that line. All right, what would be a unique combo that like people aren't really going to be on? What does that open up? So, well, I guess we kind of just did that by using DeGrom.
What's
What would be the chalk pairing here?
chalk pairing?
Cole and Pivetta.
Cole Pivetta probably, or I don't know. Who else do we have?
Cole Suarez, actually, or Cole Pivetta.
Yeah, Suarez would be chalkier.
Cole Pivetta, and you can do a 5-man Mets stack with 3 dudes from the Royals. You can go Rangers Mets. Man, that's a big time stack. Gallo, Odor, DeShields, Chu, Mazzara, Salvador Perez, Moose Tacos, and Jake's favorite shortstop in the history of shortstops, Alcides Escobar.
Yeah, totally. Can't wait to play some 10% Alcides Escobar and get a home run out of him off Bartolo.
All right, for you FanDuel psychopaths, we'll look at a crunch, even though they could not be less interesting.
I might play FanDuel tonight, actually, so I might be a psychopath.
So, this is what I'm playing in DK. 300,000 Super Knuckleball. No, I can't talk. Super Knuckleball. 100K to first.
You're maxing it, I assume?
I am.
Okay. Man, I don't know if I can do that. Have you seen the payout structure?
Yeah.
It is complete garbage.
Yeah.
Literally 6 spots separates you $99,000. $99,000 for 6 spots out of 71,000 people.
Yeah. I don't love that. It's very top heavy.
I mean, you almost have to get in the top 5 for it to be worth it, or like to win anything substantial. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if you bink that first, man, whoo boy, I'm off tomorrow if I land this one because I am going to be drunk.
Well, you're already off pretty soon, so.
On the real,
well, actually,
if for some reason
both.
I beat the other 71,000 people in that and I take that, I'm not recording tomorrow. I'm just not going to be here. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it Wednesday.
I'll come here and we'll do I'll do like a screen share and we'll do a lineup review or something.
I'll be so hungover, it'll be insane. I'll be doing weird drugs like heroin or something. It'll be all sorts of nutty stuff.
For 100K, not even like the Millie Maker.
Dude, 100K.
100K is a lot. Not saying it's not. That's low. That's what 8 times more than I've ever won in a night. But 5 times maybe. I don't know. But that's a ton of money for most people. But
it's just like it establishes a bankroll. It pays off all of my student loans, and I don't have to touch I'm in then. I'm playing a couple $1,000s a night moving forward.
Sure.
It's the door opener.
Yeah, man. That's such bad
I probably need
payout.
to get it out of my head that I'm going to beat 71,342 other people.
Yeah.
Or other lines.
Well, the thing is, you'd probably have to hit on your top stack, and then you just got to have that one lineup where everything comes together.
You got to hit on everything. You can't miss. Now it's 71,000.
Right.
No missing. You need every major home run.
I'm sure Osimo. I'm sure Alex or Tom will take it down.
That's
Awesome
fine too, I guess. I prefer it to be me, but that's fine. But yeah, I got to take the shot. It's a really nice tournament, aside from the garbage-ass payout structure. But
they just really wanted to have 100K to first.
Right,
That's why.
Yeah, I get it. All right, FanDuel crunch quick, just to satisfy people. I'm going to look at DeGrom because I think that's the best option to differentiate yourself on this slate. So if I were playing a single entry, I think that I would go to DeGrom, which would not be a place that most people are going.
Yeah.
And if I did that, I would be able to do whatever I wanted. 4-man Mets stack, awesome Royal stack, one-off Bryce Harper. If you want to go to bigger bats, you could do a 4-man Mets stack, Stanton, Hicks, and Bird with a one-off Tyler Naquin because he's only $2,000.
Sure.
It's a really interesting way to either go amazing for a one-off with Harper or Stanton, Trey Turner as a shortstop, or punting it fully and going Tyler Naquin for minimum. DeGrom opens up a lot of really interesting possibilities.
I like it.
So do I. Yeah, Nola killed me. Max entries in the 100,000. Giancarlo is 150. I don't have anything else, do you?
I don't. Take down that 100K tonight.
That's the plan, man. That's the plan. I feel like I needed to roll into it and just take a shot.
Maybe I should do that.
It just seems
fun.
fun.
I can't do it. I can't. Now with that, yeah, no. That's like playing the Millie Maker, and I've been strong not ever playing the Millie Maker, or at least not a ton of entries into it. But
I'm willing to take a bath on that one tonight just for the shot.
I hope you bink it.
Oh, dude, you and me both. Let's see. What is it? 150 divided by 71,343. That's 0.2% of the entries. Whew, that's so low. That's all I got. Spotlight hitters, pitchers, and stacks are out. Keep an eye out for quick hits in the early afternoon. Spoiler alert, I'm probably talking about Jake DeGrom. Live show tonight at 6 o'clock. Myself and Chris Spags. Do we have anything else going on?
I don't think so. It's just baseball.
It is just baseball. That's fun sometimes, but not fun other times.
Yeah.
We've got Belgium and Panama going off in 23 minutes. Tune into that, I guess. Makad, how old will Colorado be?
They're going to be owned.
Them 9th
8th
right now.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. Tune in, people. Like and subscribe. Follow the iTunes account for podcasts in the morning. That's it. That's all I got. Jake, anything else?
No, good luck. I will not see you on the stream tomorrow because you'll be 100K richer, but I'll see you on Wednesday.
Sounds good.